One, two. Okay, yeah, I'm here. Great. Morning, Bubba. You quit? Oh no. So Tuesday night. So you're working the fourth, and that's it, huh? Let's see. Hey, Bubba. Let me see if I've got. Do I still have? Dun, dun, dun. There we go. All right. Check your DMs if you want to come on. I sent you the link. I went and saw, as I told y'all, this past weekend was my wife's birthday weekend. So pretty much did a lot of things that she wanted to do. And there, good morning, Bubba.
Good morning.
So you got tired of their stuff, huh?
Yeah.
That bad? I mean, it's got to be bad. Well, this is also tourist season.
Oh, it's not even that. I don't. It's we've been busy all year round.
Well, yeah, that's what you actually don't have a tourist season, do you?
We have seasons which it is scallop season starting, but good luck to them.
Oh, scallop season.
hmm I'm right by the coast.
Yeah. Well, we don't get a lot of people coming down up here for scalloping.
Yeah,
So,
for my county, it's actually the scallop is going to be kind of less this year because it's just there's not many nests that they've seen. Just a little bit south of us, though, it's very healthy.
oh, that's good. Yeah, they're this past weekend. Well, I'm only allowed to work 2 days a week. So I work Saturdays and Tuesday nights now.
Hmm. Just to give an example of the why I'm quitting, I have 176 hours of PTO. It caps out at 180.
Okay, sounds like it's time for you to take some PTO.
I don't have anybody to cover me,
So they allow you to buy it out,
so I when I quit, they do have to pay me out because that's in what we signed upon.
right?
When I put in my notice, they had to hire 3 people that I'm now training.
Hired 3 people to take over your job.
It's like, well, if honestly, if you hire these people, because most of them are part time and they're okay with part time, I would be able to train them, taken vacations when I've needed or wanted, and I might have stayed, but it's too late now. You're gonna have to pay me for over 2 months or over a month of pay now in one check, plus what I worked.
Now they're an independent franchisee, right?
Yeah, they're a franchise.
Okay. Then yeah, they screwed up.
Yep. And also at the same time, my assistant GM is also retiring, who's the other best worker that they have, because she's going to go live over close to her son in Nevada.
Right.
I would imagine that I can imagine that the that's hotel will close within the next 6 months.
Ooh, that bad, huh?
The thing is just because they've relied on us too heavily for the last 10 years.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
because it's a good location, it's a good hotel, but they penny pinch every little asinine thing,
Right.
and they didn't give time to train. And I'm
They
going to be
got a good.
honest, the three people in training, I'm not putting my best effort in.
Oh, how much time did you give? Did they give you to train?
I gave them a month notice.
But how much time did they give you to train? I mean, you can't train anybody unless you've got them there to train them.
Yeah. I've gotten 2 to 4 nights with each person.
Well, let's see. The first night they do nothing but watch and ask questions.
I make them touch everything.
Okay.
On their first night, I will let them do everything. I don't care if the customers complain how slow they're being, but I will make them touch everything. And the three, I can tell you right now, the three people I have, they're all good at checking people in and dealing with customers. They are not good at doing the night audit, though.
Yeah. I love training people for night audit. They they all for some reason they all seem to think, well, it only takes 30 seconds to run it once you push the button.
Mm,
Yeah, that's right. But do you realize how much you can screw the hotel over if you haven't done an hour's worth of work
exactly.
prior to pushing that button?
It's like, have you looked at the guest balances? Have you looked at the day in summary? Have you looked at the final audit to make sure the previous person hasn't fucked up from yesterday?
And that's
And,
not including having them run batches or anything else.
thankfully for us, batches are automatic with the system we have. But the problem that I have with, or the foreseeable problem I have with the people that we're training, is when you have to teach them um, how to make a new folder on a desktop, and they still don't remember after the fourth night you
What?
told them how to make a new folder.
Okay, so in other words, they're actually totally, completely, total computer illiterate.
Yes, exactly.
How can anybody be over the age of 15 and be computer illiterate in this day and age?
Mm, even telling them, okay, now you can minimize the browser from the email. No, no, that's not the minimize button. No, that's not it either. Up more.
Well, in a way, I can understand. See, uh, I've, when I'm in at work, and I've done this for years, I've always had two, uh, I had a Chrome screen open and a internet and a Explorer, a Microsoft screen open. I don't care if
Mm,
it's Explorer or what's this new one, Edge.
Edge.
Yeah, I don't care which brand it is. I've got another browser open. Okay, and one browser right now just happens to be Chrome is strictly check in check is strictly the one tab for the hotel screen,
Oh,
checking people in and out. The other browser I've got open has got my uh, email, the hotel email on it, booking.com on it, um, the uh,
Expedia. I'm sure.
Expedia is on it. It's got another tab open for the hotel itself. Then it's got a tab open that I can review all credit card charges processed that day. All right. And that way, when I'm working on stuff, I'm working off that secondary tab.
I, I'm gonna stop you real quick because
Yeah.
um for our hotel, what we have is our entire hotel system is worked off of iPads. We do have a back computer that we email reports to save, just so we have
Right.
them in perpetuity. That back computer is what I'm talking about, where there's only one web page open that they opened. and they don't know what minimize and close is.
Mm.
Yeah, my patience, I have learned is very high.
Well, I think in a situation like that, especially since you're down to your last day, that last day, it's like, well, I've tried to teach you, boss. This is what you're left with. Bye.
Oh yeah, once my last clock out date, fuck all of you.
Okay. I mean, you're doing a Tuesday night audit shift, right?
Yeah, I got tonight I'm doing it and tomorrow night I'm doing.
Okay. And I'll be doing audit shift tomorrow night also. I already, reminded the wife, you do realize on the 4th I'm going to be working that night, right? And she goes, oh, yes. So if you want to go with our son and his wife and the grandbaby and go watch fireworks with them, because I'm not going to be able to go out and do fireworks with you tomorrow night. Oh,
I'm also
yeah,
gonna be
that's right.
honest, the reason I even gave the exact amount of time notice is so I can get the holiday pay for the fourth.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about holiday pay for the 4th. Well, I'm going to lose that. I'll lose that holiday pay anyway because again, I'm under the restrictions I'm under. I can only earn $900 a month before taxes.
Fair enough.
So, holiday pay, all it do is cause me to lose a few hours later on in the month.
I got no restrictions, so we give me that
Yeah,
time and a half.
woo. Oh god, I when I worked Krispy Kreme at, as a in management and I was on salary. It was great because they had a bonus system set up, and Florida law, as you well know, even people in management positions can get overtime
Hmm.
if they work more than 60 hours that week. Every hour is overtime based upon their salary divided by 60 hours.
Yep, yep.
And so those weeks where I had to work 70 and 80 hours, boom, 10, 15 hours of overtime. That was really good paycheck. But
But, but yeah, the next job I'm hoping to get into, because I got a good friend that's working for them, is with Spectrum.
really,
Yep. Just being a field tech because in my area, um, the pay is actually highly better than what I have now. Overtime is encouraged.
as it demanded,
Not demanded, but encouraged, which I don't mind working overtime. Like my friend, he volunteered for 312s with 2/8s.
right?
Ended up working 15 yesterday, but that's another story.
Mm-mm-mm.
But the starting pay at 20 and a half an hour,
Oh, nice.
um, he hasn't been there less than a year. He's already at 25.
So if you know your stuff, you can get good paycheck.
Yep.
Well, that's good news. Plus, there you probably also have 401 that you can donate into, and
Yep, they have
all that other good
401,
stuff that
all the
that
insurance.
you don't get at working at hotels.
They had something like that, but once you read it, you're like, oh, fuck you.
So yeah, that's always a good thing having a company that you can get 401ks built into.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
something always I can talk to my wife and do is donating the max to her uh, Roth and 401s. And then now that we're both getting towards retirement age, she understands why for the past 25 years I've had her doing it. Because we're looking at how much money she's going to be having coming in under her system. But
mm.
so, question: Have you seen? Did you go see Indiana Jones this weekend?
No.
No. Okay. Well, I did because my wife wanted to go see it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. All right, I tweeted this out when I got home from it, and I've thought about it quite a bit this weekend. It's a good date night movie. All
Okay.
right. If you're not going in there as a hardcore Indiana Jones fan, okay, you're just going in on a date night movie. It's a great date night movie.
Okay, I can see what you're
Okay.
saying.
Um, the first thing I actually busted out laughing, and the wife elbowed me for this. Well, first of all, the theater Friday night, opening night, the theater wasn't even half full. There probably wasn't, I'd say, 2 dozen people in the theater, and this was for an 8 p.m. showing, 8:15 showing.
I was about to ask what time.
It should have been packed. An 8 o'clock showing should have been packed.
Yep, it should have been.
Okay, it's on a Friday night
Oh,
in the
opening weekend.
opening weekend at the best theater in the county. All right, every chair in this theater reclines, is a padded reclining chair.
Oh, I like those kind of theaters.
Okay. You sit down in them and they automatically start to recline. They got nice built-in foot rests and everything else.
Yeah, because I finally learned that it's like if we don't put these in, people are gonna put their feet on the chairs in front of them.
So uh, now the it was $18 a ticket, but you actually get what you pay for with that theater.
Okay.
So, but there's a scene where they're running across the top of a train, and they pull back for a long distance shot, and Polar Express did it better. That's why I started laughing.
All right.
Because you're not getting an 80-year-old Harrison Ford running across the top of a train.
Oh no. I had a mute because I was coughing too bad.
So when I saw that, the first thing that popped into my mind was Polar Express. All right. The de-aging that they did for the few scenes was actually fairly decent. It wasn't distractingly bad, which, I mean, they could have done some more of it. There's a few more scenes where they could have done more of it, but it probably started getting a little expensive. And they had so much expense wrapped up in a year's worth of reshoots
Mm.
because of Kennedy's original plan for the movie being totally Shiite. That, and yes, I do blame Kathleen Kennedy for what's going on with that movie.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Um, and fortunately, you know, Phoebe, know, Phoebe's character and the wife, the wife couldn't understand what I meant by this, but her character is so disagreeably unlikable that she actually ruined the movie. And it wasn't the actress's fault, it was the script's fault.
As expected.
Okay.
Whenever
Uh,
I see like these um, characters, I never blame the actor or actress. It's always it's a script. Um, some caveats might be made.
Right.
Brie Larson.
Uh, she, the only thing, yeah, okay, enough said about that. But yeah, the the scene with them falling out of the ascent of the aircraft, that's in all the commercials. I'm not going to give away anything in the movie as far as what actually happens, other than what you've actually seen in commercials. Okay. Um, there was one scene at the very end of the movie. I will say this: there's two scenes in the movie that were touching, and the one scene actually started. It was like, oh, thank God. It got that reaction from me. Because I avoid reading or watching a lot of stuff that's got any kind of spoilers.
Hmm.
So the ending actually caught me by surprise, and the ending was a good ending to the movie.
I'll give you a little bit of my perspective. Once again, haven't seen the movie. I
Right,
haven't seen any of the trailers because if they're not going to recast Indiana for like a different like spin-off, I'm like, I don't even understand. As he would say, you belong in a museum.
right.
Like I
Well,
just had no interest with it.
the I mean, I did not want to go see it. It was not on my list of movies to go see this year. But the wife wants to see it. It's her birthday weekend. I mean, her birthday was on Thursday. This movie comes out on Friday. Am I going to go take her to go see it? And when she wants to,
Oh
yes.
yeah, yeah.
You know, uh, did I enjoy myself with the movie? Like I said, it was a good date night movie. Uh, I mean, there's going to be parts in it, if you're a hardcore Indiana Jones fan, that's going to piss you off. There's going to be parts of it you're going to sit there and shake your head and go, "What the hell?" Hey, Sean, how old is Wallet Ridge that they had the de-age her? But no, it's the well, let's see here. The bad news about Indiana Jones, and this is part of my I unfortunately I helped Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny underwhelms the box office with only $60 million, and that's as of this morning.
And that's for the holiday weekend.
Yes, that 90 million. Okay, the film, which budgeted north of 250 million, came
I'm,
in at under 60 million in ticket sales from 4,600 North American theaters.
and I'm assuming that's not including advertising.
I'm going to assume the same, because the rumor mill I heard was that the movie had to make almost 900 million to be considered a profit for Disney. That's what
Disney's
it
been
has. That's what it
fucking
has to
up
make
recently.
worldwide. I'm sorry.
Disney's been just fucking up recently with the movies they're trying to cash in
Yep.
on.
So let's see here, including the 70 million from international showings in 52 markets. Dial of Destiny only earned 130 million worldwide. Wow.
So it did worse than the Flash.
I don't know what the Flash made its opening weekend.
I want to say the Flash. for at least domestically, I think the Flash did 60 million.
Okay, that's what the this
Oh, that's
did.
about the same. Okay.
All right.
Oof.
So and see the Flash. If the Flash had anybody except Ezra Miller in it, I probably would have gone to see it.
Yeah, I would have probably agreed with that.
All right, because I
But
really wanted to see Michael Keaton back in uniform.
I am actually a fan of the Flash, but with
Oh,
Ezra Miller, he's just a douchebag. I'm sorry.
I do you remember the Flash TV series from about 20 years ago?
Yeah. With what was his name? They even had him cameo in the CW Flash episodes.
Yeah, let's see, Flash TV series 1990. Let's see here, John Wesley's Ship,
Yep.
which I'm telling you, I really loved that series. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really. I what the uniform was a little iffy. The costume, but still the show itself I thought was great. Um, I mean I watched it every episode,
Mm.
and I was like, they kept Barry Allen as the Flash. They didn't go with any of the new other. It's like I tease um, Jack about all the time because he's not a Barry Allen fan for the Flash. Okay, and I keep telling Barry Allen's the only Flash the rest are also Rands. So, but anyway, back to this. Let's see here. Uh, Man's Gold uh, became the direct, was the director itself, and I, I'm just not real fan of him. Now, I wasn't a big fan, like I said, date night movie. It wasn't anything that really a C plus B minus at best. Uh, you know, I definitely put it down with Crystal Skull.
Which would you rate higher, Crystal Skull or this one?
That's what I don't. I'd have probably Crystal Skull,
Hmm. Uh,
and I wasn't a fan of the
that's
sci-fi
bad.
ish. I wasn't a fan of the fact. Crystal Skull was okay until they made it sci-fi there at the end.
Yeah, Crystal Skull. It had its fun moments, even though people criticize like the refrigerator
Oh
and
yeah,
Shia LaBeouf with the
oh
monkeys.
yeah. Well, like I said, it had its moments that made it fun, but that was about it. Uh, so yeah, they're good. It was a good movie. I enjoyed myself. Uh,
Like if it wasn't associated with the franchise that people liked, it would just be like, oh, okay, I enjoyed that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're not like I said, if you go in there as a hardcore Indiana Jones fan, you're not going to like the movie at all. If you go in there expecting great uh, chase scenes, the tuk tuk chase scene was too long. I started getting bored with it.
Yeah,
The little motorcycle type things running in and out of the town.
Okay.
You know, I started getting bored with it. It started getting okay. Is this thing ever going to end? The deal with him riding the horse in whatever city that was supposed to be in. Uh, there's a couple parts that's like, yeah, that horse should be dead by now with what happened. It's like it got to the point of being no longer even faintly plausible. Some of the stuff that went on.
Should die on the side of the road like the one of the horses that Maximus had in Gladiator.
um, Harrison Ford walking around in his underwear. I didn't need to see that. Wearing nothing but a pair of boxer shorts.
Did they
Did not need to see that whatsoever.
did they start writing this when Breaking Bad came out?
You know, and that was in the first part of the movie. So let's see what else. And that's about it. I mean, without, like I said, I don't want to go in to give away any spoilers, anything to anybody that may still want to go see it. Uh, just please don't have your expectations too high because it's not that highly. I don't think it's that great of a movie.
From everything I've heard, if you are a fan of the Indiana Jones, probably don't waste your time. If you're not, then most I can say is arg.
Uh, Like I said, if your wife or girlfriend or significant other, boyfriend, husband, whoever wants to go see it, go see it. Have a good. I mean, like the wife and I went to Buffalo Wings for dinner,
Mm.
and uh, they've got Buffalo Wings has got a new hot sauce. I wish I could remember what it was called. It's the top of their chart hot sauce. I don't know if you're into hot sauces or not.
I am.
Okay. Hey Eagle, how you doing today? They've got a new one that supposedly tops their chart in heat. Now I will tell you, it is pretty hot. I asked them for a little sampler on the side, like what you'd put ketchup or mustard into,
Hmm.
just so I could. I mean, I didn't want my wings in it until after I had a chance to taste it, and it hits off sweet, and it's a back of the throat burn. It's not a front. It's not front, and it's got a nice back of the throat, and it's not a punch you in the face. Like you've had the atomic bomb
I have.
hot sauce.
So, is it like a more of a one that's gonna probably give you hiccups since it's hitting you more towards the back?
Yeah, yeah. It didn't affect me that way. I mean, I dipped my wings in it, and it didn't affect me that way. But it's got a nice taste to it. It starts off sweet before the heat hits, but it's not overwhelmingly sweet at least for me it wasn't too sweet. For some people it won't be sweet enough. For me the sweetness was just about the right level.
Mm. I do
So
remember one time. Um, my mom's boyfriend at the time was growing his own peppers. He's like, "Hey," he just gave me a pepper. He's like, "It's a habanero." I was like, "Oh, it's just a habanero." That was the spiciest fucking habanero I've ever experienced in my goddamn life.
ah,
Like, I was
uh,
like, "Oh, just habanero." I've eaten these raw multiple times. bit into it, like, oh, wow, that's pretty hot. That's pretty hot. Like,
Did it get up to ghost pepper range on you?
not quite that far, but it was. I was like straight hiccuping. I was like, all right, I need bread.
Eagle, I hope you're having a good day. But yeah, I remember the first time I got hands on a Pepper X. Uh, oh my God. I just so glad that I did not do like some people do and just wolf on the whole thing, but just, go in for a normal sized bite of it.
Yeah, so take a little chew instead of all of it.
Mm. Yeah, what I like doing is I grow peppers in 5 gallon buckets. That way I can move them from space to space.
Mm.
Okay, that way it's when I want them in the sun, I can put them out in the sun. When I want them in the shade, I can move them over to the shade.
Yep, yep, yep.
Uh, because I always water them in the shade and keep them in the shade when I for 5 6 hours after I water them.
Yeah, we live in Florida. You don't want all the water to evaporate.
Right. And I want it to actually get down to the roots, but I don't want it to I don't want it to evaporate, but also
You don't want to
don't want
over. You don't want to drown it.
well, yeah, don't want to drown them, but I don't want it to evaporate off the leaves right away. But, they do require some sunshine to do their thing.
Yep.
Your best friend is Pakistani. I told him to make a bite of this. You never seen a brown man. Yeah, I like a good hot pepper though. Uh, the wife thinks I'm crazy because I've got a little squirt bottle, and they always, because I do like hot sauces, they always buy me all these little bottles of hot sauces for birthday present or Christmas present. So I take and I mix them all together in this one squirt bottle, and I don't pay attention to what they are. I just dump them all in. Make a nice blended hot sauce. And actually, it tastes really good that way though, especially when you mix your green pepper sauces in with your red pepper sauces, so you get the best of both. I well, that night at the B Dubs, I got my wings done Nashville hot, and their version of Nashville hot is not Nashville hot, not the Nashville hot that I've had in Nashville. So they're toned down quite a bit.
Mm.
So, but that's why, I mean, I really could have done my whole wing order, all 15 wings in that hot sauce that they had. Zaxby's actually has a hotter hot sauce than that was. So, are you a fan of dipping your wings into blue cheese or ranch dressing?
No.
Good. Neither am I.
No. If I'm having hot wings, I want to have hot wings.
Now keep that dressing for salads. Oh, Eagle does ranch. Well, that's cool. I mean, everybody, again, I don't pick on people about what they like to eat too much because everybody's taste buds are different. Everybody, except for people that put pineapple on pizza.
Or ranch on hot dogs.
I've got a friend of mine that puts ranch on his pizza.
That's been too common in the past 15 years.
Well, this guy, the first time I seen it done was about 20 years ago when I first started working at the hotel. And the one guy there started putting ranch on pizza, and I thought that was pretty gross until I tried it. It's not something I do, but it wasn't obscenely gross. I mean, it wasn't bad, but to me, ranch dressing goes on raw cauliflower or
Celery,
celery or salads.
carrots.
No. Now, I do judge my son for liking asparagus. I have to admit, I
I,
judge him on that.
I actually like grilled asparagus if it's seasoned right.
It still tastes like I'm trying to eat wood. Uh, and it's like eating. If I want to eat wood, I'll go cut down a tree.
I actually enjoy grilled asparagus. I'm sorry.
My son wraps it in bacon and grills it.
Um, I grill it, but no, actually no. Pan fry it with some garlic, some onions.
Right.
It's not bad with some peppercorn pepper.
Hmm.
I actually really like it.
Well,
It's a side dish, but
to to well, to each their own. My wife judges me on how much garlic I eat.
there's never
So
enough garlic.
yeah, that's my opinion. There's never. Well, I have put too much garlic powder and stuff before, though. So
Garlic salt, I've put too much in. Garlic powder, I'm not sure if I've put too much garlic powder in something.
I did. Well, I had the lid fall off.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Okay, my son thought he'd be funny and loosened the lid on me, and I went to shake it, and when half the bottle falls in, you got to make a lot of chili to dilute that stuff down. You got to make a lot of chili to, to dilute it.
I just remember at the age of, I think I was like about 6 or 8, the difference between garlic powder and garlic salt when putting it on a pizza.
I've got garlic salt in my cupboard, and I probably got to look at it. It's probably expired.
Because you don't use garlic salt, you use garlic powder.
Well, I
Garlic
oh,
salt you might use for like maybe some hamburgers.
right, but I don't use that much garlic. I don't use garlic salt that often because if I'm wanting garlic and because I grind, I got my pepper mill, I got my salt mill. I grind my own salt and pepper.
Nice.
Uh, oh, garlic butter on pizza crust is amazingly good.
Oh. Can we move really from food? Because I'm too hungry.
Well, I'm surprised you're still up if you worked last night.
I did not.
Oh, okay.
Um, I had to take off this day because of basically babysitting my sister's kids while they went to a concert on the other coast.
Ah, gotcha. Eagle hasn't eaten enough. I got up this morning and I tried to make breakfast for the wife in the mornings. Uh, except for the mornings where I've worked the night before. And I I don't know what the hell you'd want to call what I made. Took my cast iron skillet and about 4 pieces of bacon, chopped them up, pan fried that. Then uh, julienned a half a dozen white potatoes that I had that I needed to get rid of before they started getting soft or growing eyes.
Yep, yep.
And then pan fried those. Cooked them one, pan fried them, pulled them out, sent them to the. Well, first I blanched them. Soaked them in cold water to get the starch and everything out.
Mm.
Rinsed them out real good, pat them, dried them, put them in the bacon fat, cooked them, pulled them out. Then uh, let's see, some mushrooms, some bell peppers, and then drained a can of spicy tomatoes. Then threw those in and cooked them up, browned up the tomatoes, what was in there. Then added everything together, threw in some cheese, or threw in half a dozen eggs that I beat up, and then threw them into the oven with some cheese on top. And morning, Dar. And
Ahoy. I thought you guys had more important things to talk about than food.
never.
I thought we were talking about the Supreme Court,
Oh yeah. Well, that's on
the
my list. Well,
dial of
well,
stupidity.
Dar or Bubba here. He's changing careers.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and we got through 1/3 of what it was listed.
Yeah, and we talked about the Indiana Jones.
Yeah, good. And I don't have to say it's going to suck.
Eagle says that they're in love with me now.
Who's in love with you?
Eagle.
Oh, Eagle's in love with you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
Well,
Once again, way to a man's stomach through his. Way to a man's heart through his stomach.
yeah, see, I used to just make breakfast on Sunday mornings, but that breakfast, I mean, it actually turned out pretty good. I mean, I really could have just left the bacon out and made been a great vegetarian breakfast. So, but yeah, I just wanted to do something different for breakfast, and that's what I did up today.
all right. Well.
But anyway, yeah, Bubba, he is
Oh, Eagle.
last.
No. No, Eagle. Bad Eagle.
What?
No pineapple on pizza.
Oh,
Bad Eagle. Bad. So there's a place that makes wood fired pizzas,
oh,
and they make one with
they're not in New York, are they?
no, Virginia.
No, New York City's
Yeah,
banning wood
because they
fire
banned the wood
pizzas.
fired. Yeah,
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to. But anyway, they make wood fired pizzas, and they have one that has like chorizo and pineapple and jalapenos and goat cheese on it. That's just so freaking good.
I like goat cheese.
Yeah, I do too.
So we
So pineapple does belong on pizza, but it has to be fresh pineapple and not the
oh,
canned shit.
Eagle's son owns 3 pizzerias. Nice. Very nice. Uh, we
Nice.
got an Indian pizzeria just a couple miles down the road from us, and I don't order enough from them because they make their dough is a non-style dough instead of a standard pizza dough, and it is really good.
So yeah, they make like pizzas on naan bread. Yeah, I do that all the time myself.
It's not non-bread, but it's very similar to. It's got the same. It's
Well,
got a very
okay,
close texture and such.
all right, so let's talk about that for a minute. So naan is the Indian word basically for bread. So calling it non-bread is saying bread.
Okay.
Much as the same way as saying chai tea is saying TT because um, chai is the Indian word for tea. So chai, like they serve at Starbucks and that, is really spiced tea. It's not chai tea. That's just saying TT. So anyway, so naan is just Indian word for bread. So it's
Okay.
just bread.
Well, I did not know that, and for all these years I've worked for Indians, they've never corrected me on that.
Yeah, most
So
don't because it's
they
easier not to.
they so I'm going to have to get on to them about that for not
Yeah, so the
telling me I
main
was wrong, being grammatically incorrect.
grammatically. Well, the thing of it is with the with naan, right? It's the way it's cooked. It's in the tandoori pot, cooked
Right.
on the sides, so you get
Hmm.
that texture and all that. But it's basically just type of bread. So much is the same way as pizza dough's type of bread and stuff as well.
Right.
But it does have a little bit higher gluten, which gives it that elasticity and all that.
I've got to look at my. They gave me the recipe for making my own here skillets. I don't own a tandoori, but they do have a recipe for doing it in cast iron skillet.
Well, yeah, you can cook it. See, tandoori pot basically is, you know, um, it's a clay pot, right? So what you could do is get a thing to put in a kamado that makes it basically a tandoori. So you cook stuff that way.
Well, I'm not paying for a Komodo grill just to make bread.
Well, so I have a kamado grill, but it's not your typical one
Them
made
things,
out of
them things,
ceramic because I can't
those things ain't
afford
cheap.
that. No, no, because like a big green egg or whatever is like $1,300, and I'm not
Yep.
spending that kind of money. So what I have is the acorn, which is a metal um, Kamado grill, and I mean it's super easy to clean because the bottom pan comes out, and you just
Right.
basically spray it down and rinse it off, and done. You're clean. So but that's what I have, and that's what I cook my pizzas in. Because what I do is I just take a big thick pizza stone, I lay it on that grill, get it up to about 600 degrees, throw the pizza
Right.
on top, so you get that nice bubbly brown edges and stuff like a good wood fired pizza. You get that flavor of the wood fire, throughout it, and check the bottom, and it's just like it's like perfection. So that way I can do my own.
Okay. Oh, wood fire oven in his house. A friend of mine's he just built one this past year, and he keeps telling me he's going to have me over for uh, a pizza dinner in his system, and he just hasn't gotten there yet.
Well,
That,
see, for me, what I do before I'm going to invite anybody over for pizza night,
right?
I'm gonna practice quite a few times till I get really good at it. Then I'll start inviting people over.
Which I mean, I, I, I want to try it. I want to try his pizza that way.
Yeah, wood fired pizza is the only way to fly.
So, well, we all get that what is it? The Pizza Hut, Domino's.
Yeah, but that's not a
You
wood
know,
fired pizza.
well, that's what I'm saying. Is we all that's the kind of pizza most of us are used to anymore. That
Yeah,
that oven, gas
cooked in a
oven
gas
thing.
oven. Yeah,
Yep.
which doesn't really impart any extra flavor. But so
Just cooks it faster.
not really. I mean, I can in over lump charcoal, I can cook pizza faster than the gas oven because I can crank that thing up to about 900 degrees and cook pizza in like 2 minutes.
Well, with the brick oven pizzas, you can cook them faster, but the more you put into there, the more heat you're losing as each pizza is going through as fast as you put them through, so they're going to be losing time.
Well, so with the brick oven, with the typical brick oven, right? It's just a big oven, and you have the fire in the back, and then you set the pizza to get it hot, and there's no door or anything like that. So you're putting the pizza in, taking it out when it's done, right? And as the depending on what kind of wood fire you're using, yeah, you will have to replenish the fire, but you don't lose the heat like you do with some other types of heating. Because the brick oven itself, right, is usually made of, plaster or ceramic, something like that, which holds the heat better than your typical gas oven, which is made of metal, has no insulation or anything. So the faster you run the pizzas through, the less done they are. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And see, that's the reason I like my Kamado so much because it has 6 inches of insulation in it. So I can get those coals up to, about 500-600 degrees, and I can keep that thing at that temperature at 600 degrees for about 9 to 10 hours easy without even trying. So I can cook in the morning, right? Start something in the morning, something that needs to go low and slow. So I can get that thing about 250 degrees, go low and slow. Then if the afternoon I want to cook something hot and fast, I just open up the vents, give it like 15 minutes come to heat, throw it in. So I can start my grill at 6 in the morning and cook until midnight.
Mm. And not burn a bunch of fuel.
No. I mean, a bag of lump charcoal will last me 3 or 4 months easy.
Okay.
And that's cooking, 2 to 3 times a week. Now, if I cooked every day, it would probably be a month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah, we don't. The wife and I, we used to grill a lot. Used to grill and smoke a lot, but past 5 years or so, we just don't do it as often as we used to. It's not actually to the fact that went out and realized we hadn't grilled in about 8 months.
Well, yeah, see, and part of the problem is too with that is, when it's only two of you at home, right? It's kind of like for instance, I'm going to be doing tomorrow on the grill. I'm going to throw some chicken skewers on the grill tomorrow.
hmm
Um, so but it's just, the wife and I pretty much. So, yeah, so I don't grill that much just because it's her and I. Now, if I was like having the neighbors over all the time, then that would be different. I would grill a lot more often. And one of my neighbors, I'm going to make pork candy for her,
Right.
but her husband likes beef, so then I'm going to make some beef candy as well.
Ah, okay. What is going on here? Expire. Oh, okay. They're now claiming that the Biden administration just popped out a flash notice on the news that DNA testing at the border expired when the on January 20th at 12:01
Of course.
two years ago. So yeah,
So yeah, there's
that,
going to be a whole bunch of kids not being reunited with their parents,
right.
sold into all sorts of bad things.
Well, okay. So so the Bubba can quit talking about or thinking about eating his desk that he's sitting at. All right, let's take a look here. The FBI is actually asking the Supreme Court to make a decision
That's
because,
unusual.
yeah, and mostly that the ninth. Well, FBI uh, asks justices to wade into the no-fly list dispute. And what has happened here? First of all, no-fly list. It is what it is. It means. And the FBI has put people on there that are elected officials. Congress critters
Yep,
have been put on the no-fly list.
it's true.
And and the thing is you don't know you're on the no-fly list until you go to buy tickets.
Or until you go to the airport, because even when you buy tickets, sometimes they don't tell you.
Right.
Mm.
You go through TSA checkpoint there, and sorry, you just spent $1,100 on tickets you can't use. You're being denied entry. So, uh, and this isn't a case of you were found guilty of something, therefore you're on the no-fly list. All it takes is an accusation, and you could be put on the no-fly list, or somebody don't like you, and you can be put on the no-fly. You get the wrong person don't like you, you can be put on this thing.
The subtle amount of suspicion.
Right. So the case here they're talking about is that, okay, I'm not going to try to pronounce this guy's name or where he's from.
So John
Uh,
Smith.
right. Okay. While traveling to Sudan in 2010, this gentleman was questioned by the FBI agents about his ties to a mosque in his hometown of Portland, Oregon. The FBI agents informed him that he would be unable to return to the U.S. He's a U.S. citizen. He'd be unable to return because he refused to become an FBI informant. So they won't. If you want to go back to the States and be able to fly, you have to agree to become an informant for us. Otherwise, you're being stranded over here in the Sudan. The guy refused. He flew to the United Arab Emirates, where he was imprisoned and tortured by the secret police. He alleges
Nice.
that one of the interrogators told him that the questioning came at the request of the FBI.
Can we just abolish the FBI?
Now, the FBI is not
Yeah.
supposed to be dealing with stuff overseas.
Nope.
The FBI is supposed to be in country only.
Just like the CIA is not supposed to be doing things within our country.
That's right. He was eventually released and still unable to return to the U.S. He sought asylum with a relative in Sweden. The Swedish government denied his asylum request, and after DHS denied his petition to be taken off the no-fly list, The Sweden flew him by private jet back to Portland. While he was in Sweden, he filed a lawsuit against the FBI. He argued that the agency violated his right to due process by labeling him a flight risk and failing to provide an adequate way to challenge his status. There is no way to challenge it. I mean, the courts normally don't touch the no-fly list. While the lawsuit was pending, the FBI revised its initial determination and removed the guy from the list. The government sought then to dismiss the case as being moot. Why? Because, well, we took him off the list, so now you can't, you got to leave us alone. Because the FBI, of course, did not want the courts getting involved on this because they knew that they probably wouldn't like the outcome.
Oh, don't worry. If we get disclosure from the FBI, we'll get some good black pages.
You're right. No, they won't be blank. They'll just be black.
Yeah, that's why I said black pages.
Oh, I thought you said blank. My fault. My bad. God, I hate that when people say my bad. I hate that. Yeah. Anyway, federal court in Oregon, district court in Oregon granted the request. However, the Ninth said, hell no. They reinstated the lawsuit. This is, the Ninth doesn't get things right very often.
The Ninth?
The Ninth
Circus.
But they got this one right.
Broken clock.
All right, because the Ninth Circuit ruled the case was not moot because under the voluntary cessation doctrine, the government had not made it absolutely clear that the FBI would never again label the guy a flight risk for the same reason it did so in the first place.
Didn't say anybody else.
Right. So with the case back on, the FBI filed a court declaration stating that Fike would not be replaced on no-flight lists in the future based on current available information. All of a sudden, they could get out of nowhere, some new information could pop up to put him right back on the no-fly list. Yeah. It's not like the FBI isn't known for fraudulently creating stuff out of thin air and presenting it even to FISA courts as being the truth.
Oh, no. They would never be doing that.
No, they would never do that.
By the way, I did check. I don't see any pigs flying outside for the Ninth getting that right. That's weird.
But the Ninth Circuit said, that ain't enough. The FBI's declaration did not concede that it was wrong to place him on the no-fly list originally. In fact, the FBI defended the decision in accordance with applicable policies and procedures. And absent any indication, the FBI changed those policies and procedures to provide additional safeguards. The appeals court reasoned the flight status remained at risk should the currently available information change. Right. Like I said, the FBI, somebody in the Ninth Circuit got things right. So now the FBI is asking the Supreme Court to get in and to reverse the Ninth Circuit recent ruling. The government argues the two other circuits have correctly upheld the dismissal of similar lawsuits over placement on the no-fly list. The Ninth Circuit's holding that the FBI must go further, concede wrongdoing to have the case dismissed. The government argues confuses the mootness with admission of liability on the merits. That no-fly list needs to either go away completely or
be heavily revised of how it's done.
You're right, heavily revised. Because what they've done with it and the way it's been abused. Now, there are some people that deserve to be on the no-fly list. You like that, these characters get on there that want to cause a scene and act like fools just to get YouTube videos and TikTok videos made.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm sure you all have seen those videos.
Yeah.
See
Some
more
jack,
than I want to.
some some jackass. Oh, Eagle, you're right. Um, the Patriot Act, in hindsight, and at the time, I supported the Patriot Act. I supported what they wanted to do with it. But like everything else, they just don't know when to stop. And now I think it needs to go away because they've abused it, misused it so badly. But how often do any of us actually agree with what the Ninth Circuit Court action does?
Not very
Once.
often.
So far, I've known.
So, well, they did get some new judges on there that weren't quite as bad as some of the old ones were. So that may be what's going on because Trump got to appoint at least one judge to the ninth.
Oh, so you're saying is democracy is ruined?
So, yeah, Eagle, you're right. Oh, I no, I want to. I don't. I'm not uh, a a flag waving Republican, and one of these people that says the Republicans can do no wrong, and if we get them in, all the ills will be fixed. No, because we got too many people like Graham and Mitch McConnell
Mm,
and a few other idiots that
Romney.
yeah,
Yeah,
Mitt
Romney's a good
Romney,
example.
that we just need to get rid of. There's too many people there, Republicans that I don't like.
Well, you got, they're all members of the Uniparty.
I don't like that term.
I do because, a lot of people say the establishment, but if you really think about it, you look at Mitch McConnell and some of them, they're really part of the Uniparty. And it's like, yeah, okay. Um, and the reason I do like that saying is because um, Democrats say we need to spend more and we need more of this, more of that, and Republicans in the Uniparty go, yeah, but we'll manage it better. We're not going to make things better for you. We're just going to manage it better, and that's the reason I do like that term Uniparty because that's kind of how they operate.
You know, uh,
Two sides of the same coin.
I, I, with as radical as the Democratic Party has gotten, that's why I disagree with the unit party ID because the uh, the left wing, the Democratic Party, the progressive wing has gotten so much control that even the uh, establishment, the people most likely to be accused of being members of the Uniparty, that not even they are willing to go that far, I don't believe.
Yeah. All right. That's fine.
All right. I understand what's going on with that statement, with that idea. I just think it's a bad descriptor.
Yeah, I would more
I don't
say
think
that
it
they're a
quite
politician for sake of being a politician. Just they want to hold that office.
right. And see, and they're most of them like a lot of people really like Matt Gates. I don't like him, even though I like a lot of things that he does. Same with Bobart. Same with Green. I don't like them, even though I agree with a lot of their positions. So, why all of a sudden my computer's decided that it wants to go black screen on me? Actions, not words, right?
Kick your
Oh,
HDMI
okay.
cable.
That's one thing Republicans are famous for,
Mm.
is a lot of words and very little action. So, but yeah, we'll see what the if the Supreme Court uh, takes this no-fly list up. That's going to be something for next season, next year for
Yep.
October. So, all right. Now, this last week, Supreme Court had a lot of fun, and heads have been exploding all around the country. Um, let's start off with uh, uh, the student debt cancellation and the Supreme Court
I was gonna
saying,
say
no,
you're
no,
gonna
no,
start
no,
with the
no.
student debt or the affirmative action.
No, the student debt. We'll start off with that. All right. And I'll tell you, I've liked the rulings that the Supreme Court's come down with. Some of them I don't think went far enough. I think especially the one on affirmative action. I don't think they went far enough because Roberts allowed them to backdoor it. He left a back door in the ruling to still allow the schools. Well, let's go ahead and go there, to allow the schools to backdoor the affirmative action by saying that you can take a person's backstory and use
Mm.
that instead of the color of their skin.
And
Well, then all they got to do is say, okay, every black person's is automatically uh, has automatically got that backstory that's required.
didn't they basically say it's completely null and void for what was it, military
Right.
schools?
Military schools can still use affirmative action, can still use race to get the into any of the academies. Oh, data. Oh, that really does suck. Your cell phone screen get cracked. Mm,
Get an OtterBox.
yeah, I've got my wife. I had got her an OtterBox. Every time I get her phone, I get her an OtterBox to go with it because she's absolutely death and destruction on cell phones. Well, with her working in for um, daycares, you know, kids grab her cell phone and knock them out of her hand or pull them out of her pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, um, I mean, I do like the fact that the Supreme Court said, point blank, you can't use race. The problem is the way that nobody is gotten it right. Very few people gets it right though when they report on it. Because where's this one article?
They're just gonna redefine what they evaluate on. I'm using air quotes.
Right. Okay. This here is the AP's take on it. And I will show this. This is the AP's headline on it.
I'm ready.
Well,
Affirmative
I'm going to
action for
bring. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
okay. So affirmative action for white people.
Oh, for
Legacy
Christ's
college
sake.
admissions come under renewed scrutiny. Now, this whole case was brought by Asians. Not white people didn't bring this case. White students didn't bring this case. Asians did. If you one, I couldn't find it to find the story, and I didn't. Usually, I email myself stories that I read through that I want to talk about. And this one, I didn't do it because I figured I'd be able to find it, and of course, I couldn't find it this morning. But uh, CNN, the day this article came out, they talked about this ruling. Out of the 8 hours, the initial 8 hours after this ruling came down, blacks, the black race, white race were mentioned hundreds of times. Asian races was mentioned 15 times in 8 hours
I
of
also
reporting on this.
I would also like to point out the second part of this, where legacy college admissions is under new reduced scrutiny, and I have had seen zero people saying, "Yeah, get rid of legacy admissions." Yeah, like just get rid of them. I've heard no disagreement with that.
I personally, I don't understand what the problem is with legacy. I've heard a lot of people say, yeah, get rid of them, but nobody's given me a good argument as to why get rid of legacy. At least I
Because
haven't heard a good argument for it.
oh, I say get rid of it because if we're going to go, I'd rather go just by merit. If you got the accolades for it, the GPA, the whatever, go for it. Just because you had a parent or somebody that happened to go to that school before you, why should you get an extra leg up?
Okay, tell me. All right, but see, that's not race based. That's not
No, that,
ethnicity based. It's not. It is based on the fact that you've had parents you that have gone to that college before you. All right. So that's not, you're not going there because you're white. You're not going, and
yeah.
you're going to tell me that, I mean, with the number of blacks and Hispanics and everybody else going through these colleges, that I mean, they don't want their children to go through the same college that they went to.
I'm sure
I
they would
mean,
like to, but if you should still have to prove yourself.
oh, I agree that,
But that's the whole thing. They're saying that they should get rid of the upper hand that legacies get, and I don't see. They're like, well, if you're going to get rid of affirmative action, you should also get rid of this. That's the whole purpose of that whole is under scrutiny. It's like, yeah, okay, go get rid of it. I don't care.
again, though, you show me how that discriminates against anybody based upon their race, their gender, their ethnicity, or anything else. I,
I don't care about that. Like
okay, to
it
me,
doesn't.
it's not a discriminatory practice.
So I'm just saying, I don't care if they get rid of it or not. It's like,
I just don't think the government should be stepping in and telling them they have to get rid of it.
oh
If a
yeah, that's
college
fair.
wants to get rid of it on their own, that's fine.
Yeah,
But I don't
I agree
think
with
the
that.
government should be stepping in and say, or the courts should be stepping in to say, you have to get rid of legacy and admissions.
Why would you have to get rid of legacy admissions?
Oh, that's just what they're complaining about because they got rid of affirmative actions.
Yeah, see, that makes no sense because that's comparing apples and oranges.
Yeah, it is. But I honestly
Totally
don't care
agree.
about either.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean,
Well, see, I think the bigger thing here to look at is so they got rid of the affirmative action, right?
Mhm.
the blatant affirmative action,
Yeah,
right?
blatant because they're going to redefine it, and
So
they gave
what
a
happens?
backdoor.
What happens to all these corporations and the state of California and all this, where they said, 50% of your board of this DEI stuff, right? 50%
Mm-hmm.
of your board of directors have to be female, and 40% have to be of some other ethnicity. Isn't that also affirmative action?
That was the exact same question I had when this ruling came out, and I haven't gotten an answer to it yet.
Uh,
Well,
I
You
will
would think you would think it would be.
yeah, it definitely is, and I think it would fall under this.
conveniently, a lot of corporations have been firing their DEI officers.
Yeah, go figure, right?
Hmm.
So, that being the case, I mean, how many people are going to have to sue big corporations and that to get them to
And
knock this shit off?
that in lies the problem. People have to actually pursue the case.
Yeah, and how many people are going to be suing colleges and stuff too now? So it should be, I mean, because even though the Supreme Court has put this out and everything, um, when the administration doesn't support it themselves, so it tells me that a lot of people are going to completely ignore it. So there's going to have to be a lot of lawsuits to get it finally enforced.
Yeah, because like I said, the Roberts left that back door open to this by saying
Yes, he did.
colleges could accept people's tales of woe about to get into college, and
Right.
well, yeah, I was discriminated against all my life because so I need to get in your college.
Or you just write Black Lives Matter 1,000 times.
Well, that's true. And you know as well as I did, he just sat there. I mean, I can print out, using cut and paste. I can do 1,000 times and nothing flat.
Oh yeah, dude, just hold it down for a few times, recopy it, and paste it again.
Yep, exactly. Uh, I've been more impressed if he would have had to handwrite that 1,000 times. That would have been a little bit more impressive.
Yeah, and alternate cursive, and then print, and cursive, then print.
uh, yeah, I'd see that hand. God, I remember used to have to do that in school. Teachers, that used to be an acceptable punishment when I went to school. Have to handwrite out something. I will not talk in class 100 times to turn it in. Be sitting there at the kitchen table. Mom would ask me, "What you doing? My homework?" "Oh yeah, let me see it." No, that's okay, Mom. You don't need to see it. Let me see it.
It's just my vocabulary.
Yeah. I will. She'd look at that and say, "How many times do you have to write it?" 100, Mom. Which teacher did it? Mrs. So and so. Okay. Well, let me know when you're done with that. Yes, Mom. And then out come the either the duct tape or the paper tape, and put into a paper bag, have my name written on it, and I have to take it and give it to the teacher the next day for the teacher to put over my mouth if I talked in class again. Oh, my parents didn't fool around. If you I got after school detention one time, and my dad made me walk home. He followed me in the car. He wouldn't let me ride home. He made me walk home. Ah, that was a long ass walk. But anyway, that was, I never got after school detention again. But yeah, we're all glad that most of us are glad that this is uh, over and done with as a blatant fill the square.
Would even
Uh,
say institutionalized racism.
right.
Most definitely.
Let's see. Having they have to work in the school system. Everybody who. One of my aunts was a substitute teacher for the school system, and a couple of my teachers taught my parents, and a couple of my teachers went to school with my parents. So yeah, but I was also that kid. The one time I should have got something done to me, nothing happened. I've told you all the story before. I beat a kid up in front of the principal and half a dozen teachers and vice principals, and nothing happened. I was just told next time it needed to happen, do it off school property. So I wasn't exactly known for fighting. Okay. What's the next one here? Ah, now of course the Supreme Court is the left wants to say, the media wants to claim that the Supreme Court has suddenly become politicized. It is now a political arm of the fascist conservatives.
They're extremist court.
Right. And there is a young man who proclaims to be a recent law school graduate and a newly minted lawyer
So he has no
who
experience.
who is proclaiming that the Supreme Court is not following the will of the people.
Oh, they're following the will of the Constitution.
And it's like, I got blocked by him when I asked him, since when is the Supreme Court supposed to be a follow the will of the people and not the dictates and the restrictions and the protections of the Constitution. And he, rather than answer, he just blocked me.
You're spilling a lot of hate facts there, and they don't like
You know,
those.
uh, it sometimes it sucks. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes when you following the Constitution and the protections thereof, the rulings just plain suck, in my opinion. But just because I disagree with them, that doesn't mean the ruling was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I wish the ruling had gone the other way doesn't mean that the ruling was wrong. Because that ruling, just as the uh, ruling on the student debt has got so many people pissed off, and the courts and the our government, the Democrats, are being so angry about the whole thing. Y'all know who Cardona is. He's the uh, director. He's in the cabinet for the education,
Okay.
and he was at a presser the other day. And let's see, is this there? Okay, okay, there it goes. It's being shared. All right, here we go.
This administration was very confident that the HEROES Act would work. Of course, the Supreme Court blocked that. Why should borrowers trust you this time that this one will work?
There has been no other president that has done more to fight for student debt relief, to fight to make higher education more accessible. Look, I was a classroom teacher. I was a district leader. I had
That
too many
wasn't a question.
parents who thought college was out of reach for their kids. And in the last 48 hours, these two decisions from SCOTUS make me want to fight harder to make sure that we're giving them opportunities like I had as a first generation college student. There are too many people watching right now that are worried that they're not going to be able to access college or that they're not going to be able to afford it. With the SAVE plan, the income driven repayment plan, with the on ramp, and with the processes that we're going to take, we're doing everything we can to fight for our students and to give them the opportunity to access higher education.
They just got spanked and told that they can't do what they want to do.
They even knew they couldn't. It was unconstitutional when it was signed. Even Nancy Pelosi knew and said it was unconstitutional. Why are they trying to do? Even like think like, oh, this is weird.
Exactly. I really wish the ruling is that I don't think the ruling went far enough. I want to see I want to see Congress go back and get rid of the government being involved in being
Federal
the
loans.
the federal, the person who sits there and guarantees all these damn loans. They want to talk about colleges are so damn expensive today. Why are
Because they get guaranteed goddamn money.
why are colleges so expensive? Like you said, the federal government's guaranteeing the loans. And the federal government pushes that all these additional requirements. How much does it cost to send a kid to college? And we're paying him. We're being forced by college requirements to pay for classes on gender studies. In order to graduate, you must take X amount of gender studies, X amount of race studies, Black history, American Indian history, whatever. You rather than going to the college to take, the you want to become an English major, you want to become you want to go into mathematics, you want to go into psychiatry, you want to go in whatever field you're wanting to go into, you want to go into journalism. Rather than taking the classes to learn how to do what you want to do, you're being forced. You don't even get a chance to take those classes until your third year. Because your first 2 years is all the bullshit courses.
And also on top of that, the cost for everything that's going on with that, it's not going to, oh, we need more teachers. Oh, this is for the supplies. It's random administrators and basically bureaucracy that's going up in the cost for everything that they're paying for.
Right. Because they have to have all these additional teachers.
You need to have your DEI.
And your DEI people. And then something else has always amazed me. How could colleges get away with having buildings segregated by race and gender? Only minorities are allowed in this building. Only women are allowed in this building. And it's not that it's a living quarters. It's a building for studying and eating lunch and whatever. But only women are allowed in there. Okay, or only minorities, only blacks, Hispanics, whatever, are allowed in there. I mean, that teaches racism. That teaches sexism. That when you're segregating, allowing allowing this segregation here to go on. Allowing people, the women have to have a place to be where they're not being watched by men, or know, us black folks got to have a place to be to where we can act without being under the eye of the evil white man, where we can act natural. What do I mean where you can act natural?
Isn't that segregation?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's self-segregation. But then if and it's not racist or it's not sexist until white people say, well, they want a building where only whites can be, or men say, I want a building where only men can be. And then, oh no, you can't have that. That's racist or that's sexist. Now, we're going to close this gym down for 5 hours every week so that only women can come in here and work out
By
for
workout, you
five
mean
hours a
post
week.
Instagrams?
I'm sorry, what's that?
So by workout, do you mean post Instagrams?
Oh,
Yeah. If it's not on my Insta, it didn't happen.
I'm sorry, I'm a little old now. TikToks.
I've got an Instagram account, and I don't think I've even opened that thing in probably 4 or 5 years.
I've never opened up an Instagram account.
My son wanted me. My son wanted me to get one so that I could, because he was posting stuff to it when he first, when it first popped out and it was something popular. He said, Dad, you see what I'm putting on Instagram? No. Oh man, you need to go take a look. Oh, okay. Then after that, I just, that was enough of that.
You want to send me a picture? Send me a text message.
Exactly. Oh, I just don't get this whole idea though of colleges. Now, if it's a privately funded college, takes no tax dollars whatsoever, not the first dime of tax money, and there are a few out there that do it. That I don't care. You could do whatever the hell you want on your school. You're not taking any tax money. You're completely private. You want to be an all male school, you can be an all male school. You want to be an all female school, you can be an all female school. But as soon as you take, you want to be all, and I know Trump got a lot of praise for it and everything else. Why? Somebody explain to me why the government is specifically funding colleges simply because they're uh, historical black college universities, and they're majority black students. Somebody explain that to me. What makes that right? The only reason these colleges get money from the government is because they're historically black universities.
Guilt. that's best I can get.
Now, if colleges should not be dependent upon the federal government to survive.
No, especially if they're getting tuition.
Right. And if these these colleges, if they're getting federal tax dollars, then
Why isn't the tuition less?
well, not only why isn't tuition less, but why are they allowed to restrict the number of white students that go there? Why are they allowed to say, have a maximum number of non-blacks attending the school? Racism is racism, no matter which group is being discriminated against, or when whatever color is being promoted, whatever ethnicity is being promoted. Hey, Raman, good morning. How you doing? But yeah, the weekend I spent a lot of time. Well, what time I actually spent, and I didn't. When I say I spent a lot of time, I mean what I spent a lot of my free time. That again, it's my wife's birthday weekend, so I spent a lot of my time with her. Making her feel pampered. But what time I did otherwise spend, I spent reading over these articles and such, just get a breadth of an idea of how the left was responding to them. And they responded pretty much as I fully expected them to. So, I only pamper her on anniversary weekends and birthday weekends. That's when I make certain I pamper her, Ramen. And when she found out I baked her birthday cake from scratch, she said, "Oh no, does that mean I got to do your pumpkin pie from scratch?" I said, "No, you can go do store bought if you want. I don't care." Given her cooking ability, I think I'd rather have her go do store bought. At least I know I'm not going to get food poisoning. So, but my wife's the first one to admit she can't cook. She is the first one to admit that. But anyway, let's see. The FBI can get rid of that tab. We talked about that. And see, okay, and the last one here, the website ruling. That's a private company can turn down business.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. A private company can turn down business. Where they're mad about this is there's an LGBTQ person that had their business refused. And the left, well, that poor gay guy couldn't get that poor gay couple couldn't get their website created. Well, how about the gay florist that gets asked to do a flower arrangement or something for a homophobic group, for an anti-gay group? Should he be forced to do it? Should a lesbian baker be forced to do a cake for somebody they disagree with, for a neo-Nazi group? Should a Muslim bakery be forced to do something, cook up something that involves pork? No. You wouldn't ask them to do it. Should somebody very religious, a Christian, be forced to bake a cake that making a mockery of the crucifixion, or for a satanic group?
Overall, it turns out you can't force someone to do a service for you that they don't want to.
Exactly. I mean, I refuse customers, not all the time, but I've been known to refuse, sorry, we're not going to rent to you. I'm not going to rent you a room in our hotel. You come in with bad attitude, there's nothing that I've done so far that makes you happy. Why should I rent you a room and put up with all your complaints? and demands for a free night stay.
Hell, you come in screaming before you get into my lobby. Guess what? You're not getting a room.
Yeah, I'm not going. And if you're a gay baker and you want to uh, refuse business for straight weddings, that's up to you.
You're gonna lose a lot of business, but that's up to you.
Yeah, that's up to you. If a business owner should have the right to discriminate if he wants.
There are things called niche business, niche markets for a reason. If you want to
Right.
make yourself into a niche market, that's your prerogative.
Now, am I going to go into a business that is known to be racist? No.
No.
Am I going to go into a business that's, makes a point, brags about the fact that they're sexist or something like that? No, I don't give them my money. I don't support them. But then I can understand a business refusing a customer for certain reasons. I mean, you don't want to be forced to bake a cake that violates your, that you find, so offensive to you on a personal level. This one again, this here's a NBC article I'm looking at here. Let me share this real quick. This will be the last one we touch because it's coming up on 2 hours.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Yes, 7 minutes.
Yep.
Actually, I'm going to go to bed right now.
All
I'll
right.
talk to you guys later.
All right. And you have a good one. And don't, when do you start your new job with Spectrum?
Don't know yet.
I hope it's soon so your bank account don't take too serious of a hit.
So what is your new job?
As long as things go well, it'll be working for Spectrum for a lot better pay. But I got 176 hours of PTO coming towards me on my last day on Tuesday.
Sweet. So that means you're going to come out and fix my cable, huh?
Possibly.
I'll be looking for you.
All right.
We don't have Spectrum up here.
All right. Bye, everyone.
All right. Later on. Thanks for coming on, Bubba.
I guess that was kind of rude, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Are businesses now allowed to generally refuse to serve same-sex couples or LGBTQ? Legal experts have mixed opinions. Most sort of say the answer for the majority is no. And you can't refuse somebody just because they're gay. It's only if they're asking you to do something that is offensive. If it violation of your free speech. They ask you, if they come in and just want to buy a cake from you, that's fine. They want you to use your creative expertise to make a cake that is offensive. You don't have to do that. A photographer. Yeah, they want you to just take pictures of them. That's fine. All right. They want you to come in and take pictures of them having sex. No, you got the right to refuse that. Why? Because you find it offensive. Other photographers, sure, I'll take pictures of you having sex. Well, you go find that photographer that's willing to take pictures of you having sex. I'm not going to do it because I find that offensive.
Well, this whole thing is just geared towards making an example out of these people, right? For daring to have standards and morals.
Right.
And the problem is that it's backfired on them.
Definitely backfired. Uh, these people set back. This is problem with going too far on anything, be it to the right, being it to the left, pushing things to extremes. Either way, is you set back whatever side you're pushing for. When you start pushing too much, you start demanding things which no person in their right mind would expect to be agreeable. You know, Florida, going, you don't need a license to carry a concealed weapon anymore.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
kind of cool.
All right. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. Okay. But what we're going to find is cops are going to start patting everybody down. You get pulled over, and because of this, cops are going to say, well, you have the possibility of carrying firearms, so I want you out of your car, and they're going to do a Terry frisk on you.
Yeah, more likely.
Okay. And yes, there's two court cases, Supreme Court's one of them, Miller, and then of course, Terry, that under Miller, if a cop feels that has a reasonable suspicion that you are carrying a firearm, they can ask you to get out of your vehicle. And once they ask you to get out of your vehicle, they can pat you down to see if you have a weapon on you.
Yeah.
So we'll be seeing that. I do believe we're going to see that happen a lot more often than, but do I want to see Florida become a fully constitutional carry where you can open carry? I'm of two minds of that. Constitution wise, yes. I think, per the Second Amendment, yes, I should be able to open carry if I want to. But do I want to see every Tom, Dick, and Harry and Jane and Brenda walking down in the mall with the firearm strapped to their hip or slung over their shoulder? I don't know.
Why not? Well, okay, so here's the thing. I've said it a million times. I'll say it a million times more. Everybody thinks in the old West, people just walked down the streets and shot each other, and there was at high noon every day there were gunfights in the streets. That was not the case. It was the exact opposite of the case. There were places, with high crime rates and that, where that kind of stuff happened, but it was not the case. And if it had been the case, there would not have been so many newspaper articles about it when it happened. So the thing of it is, an armed society is a polite society. These people getting in fights in the malls and at the airport and all these other places where you see these videos, of people getting these big fights and carrying on and acting like idiots. A lot of that will end because if you don't know if somebody's armed or not, you're less likely to take a swing at them or say something stupid to them.
That's true.
So my thing is, an armed society is a polite society. However, freedom is a risky thing because with people armed, there will be more shootings because bad guys are going to shoot people.
All right.
So but that's the risk you run, right? So that's the thing, whenever you have more freedom, you have more risk of bad things happening.
Yep. Like Badger
And
says, dangerous freedom versus safe slavery.
yeah, and Badger's like 199 million% correct.
Yep.
Me personally, I will take that risk.
See, that's what I'm saying. Is on a purely logical and looking at this, I've got no problem with constitutional carry. Okay. But it has been so long since constitutional carry has been a thing any place where I live that watching people walk around the streets openly carrying will be a bit of a mental hurdle to get over, an
Uh,
emotional hurdle.
See, not
Do,
for me because
do,
I've
do,
lived in I have lived in open carry states most of my life,
okay. Well, I haven't. I've
and
lived in Ohio, Arizona, pre-constitutional carry, and
see, I grew up in
now
Colorado, which
Florida.
has always been an open carry state. When I was like 15, me and my buddy, man, we'd sling our 22s over our shoulder and go walk out into the woods. Everybody knew what we were doing too. Oh, they're going to go shoot at pop cans and stuff.
Yep.
We didn't. You didn't have to. If you want to take your 22 out and you just walk down by the river. You set up your pop cans because you're out in the middle of nowhere. Nobody cared.
Right.
And so you learn very quickly. And then back then too, we had hunter safety in school.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we
So
had it too.
so you knew how to safely handle a fire. The part that worries me about it is there's a whole lot of people that don't know how to safely handle a firearm. And
Their firearms training has come from movies and
right.
TV.
Yeah, so they don't know how to safely do it. So what I do see in the future with all this constitutional carry coming to these states, I see a whole lot of people with bullet holes in their toes and stuff because they're dumbasses.
Well, the local news last night, and wife shut off the TV. All right, that's enough. We're going to bed. They're doing, talking about the new law here in Florida carrying concealed weapons. Right. Immediately after that story, they went to another story about a mass shooting up in Baltimore, and then at a 4th of July party in Baltimore, or block party, or some sort of open party, and then another party, and so far this year, there's been 1,300 people killed by gunfire, and there's been 338 mass shootings, yada yada yada. It's like, the news has to go straight from what is supposed to be what is a good thing, to this is why this good thing is a bad thing. Because look what's happening. If they didn't have guns, there wouldn't have, this block party would have been a good party.
No, something was going to happen at that party no matter what, if they had guns or not.
Right. Well, this is up in Baltimore. Come on.
Yeah, with the most restrictive gun laws in the nation.
Baltimore, Detroit, Atlanta. I see stories about shootings in these places, and I say, okay, and what else is new? You tell, South Central LA had another gang shooting. All right, so this is Friday, right? Or is it Saturday?
Yeah, Tuesday or whatever day.
What day of the week is it now? Baltimore, are you surprised? Baltimore, come on. All right. Detroit, okay. Chicago, all right.
All of them just happen to be liberal cities.
Yeah.
All these restrictions.
What I love here is lately the left's been doing it. Well, look at these states that have the mass shootings, and they're 2 out of the 5 have got Republican governors. Yeah, but look at the cities where those things are happening. Look at the city itself. The governor can't control what happens inside of, the governor of Wisconsin, the governor of Michigan can't control what happens inside of an individual city as much as the mayor does. And if that mayor and the district attorney aren't prosecuting people for committing crimes, then crimes are going to flourish there.
Yeah.
You get a certain mindset going on, and it happens. All right, it's after 11. I'm surprised your wife hasn't come and grabbed you by the ear yet. Lunch must not be ready.
I hear it getting ready.
What is on the table for lunch today, anyway?
Bulgogi.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Doing the Korean thing today.
I've got. I've got a little bit of that steak left that I did up the other day. I think I'm going to have that make a nice steak sandwich, or slice it up and make a fajita out of it.
Nice.
So, but anywho, everybody try to have a good day. You got any words of wisdom before we walk out the door there?
Yeah. So my words of wisdom are, do what you like and, ignore everybody else.
As long as you're following within the boundaries of the law. It's not worth going to jail over sometimes.
Most of the time not.
Let's see here, Badger. Ever since I started carrying a lot of things slide I wouldn't have in the past. You're Badger, you're right about that. But also though, there's been a lot of times I've kept my mouth shut and didn't say what I wanted to say because I didn't know if the other guy was carrying. And
see,
what kind of temper they had.
And see, I'm with Badger on that. Same thing. There's a lot of things I let slide that in the past I wouldn't, and mostly for the reason of one, I am carrying and I don't want to use it, and two, he may be carrying and I don't want him to force me to use mine.
And then there's always the other one too is I've gotten older and it's a lot harder for me to. Is this really worthwhile getting into a fight over with? Yeah, I let a lot of things slide because I've learned that it's just not worth it. I'll fuss about it later on. But anyway, everyone, have a good day. Be with the ones you love and love the ones that you're with. And have a safe